You don't know my story. Don't speak of my story if you don't know.
Bullied at age 12, UFC champion at age 30.
I'm the king.
A title reserved for only the most dangerous men on the planet.
Israel Adesanya will fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. He's special, he's different.
An unlikely journey.
I wanted him to be an accountant.
From an accountant.
Man with over 150 fights. And a middleweight title reign that for many has surpassed even Anderson.
They came out with a top 5 ever. Adesanya beat 4 of them.
The tale of Israel Adesanya is one of vengeance.
But who the f is this gonna tell me who the f I am, who the f Kamaru is, who the f Ngannou is?
A story of heartbreak.
The man who fatally punched MMA fighter Fal Buck.
Way up to the UFC, gonna murder. This fight I dedicate to you, Fal.
And you don't become the division's top dog without making some enemies. Enemies you often wouldn't expect.
How old was the kid?
7. Well, he's only a kid. I'm like, and the f what? I was just like, where is he? I'm gonna find him. I was like,
From just 5k per fight kickboxing in China to a pay-per-view superstar in the world's largest fighting organization. But did he lose that hunger he once had?
I just felt the darkness. I kept on saying in my native tongue, Ayabiakon. That's heart of a lion, heart of a
Has
lion.
he been dethroned for good by a younger, hungrier lion?
You know, he's seen it all, done it all. He's lost that hunger for the game.
I'm going out there to kill you.
So listen up carefully, because this is the story of Israel Adesanya, and it might just be the last time it's told. A young Nigerian boy is forced to move 10,000 miles from home.
We were going to move to the States at the time in 2001, but then 9/11 happened, and my dad kind of felt America was on the brink of war, so we decided not to make that move and decided to move to New Zealand, which I had no idea what it was. And
culture shock mostly was realizing that being black was a problem. Remember in school, this kid was just giving me shit the whole time, the whole week. He just came up to me and like, what a black boy, and just pushed me. And I might have been having a bad day. And I remember I just lost it and I snapped and I just wailed on him and I was crying the whole time. And I just wailed on him till he kind of just like squatted down and just, and everyone was like, oh, that's kind of, I guess my desire to want to defend myself came from, was I hated feeling vulnerable, helpless, like I couldn't do anything.
So Adesanya looked for help in the only place he knew, the world of entertainment.
Jackie Chan was the guy who made me enjoy fight movies like The Drunken Master, Rush Hour, all those movies.
But there was one movie that stood out amongst the rest.
Ong Bak.
Ong Bak was different.
The Tony Jaa film. That's a movie that I feel like made Muay Thai mainstream to the world.
I watched Ong Bak, and I decided I wanted to learn Muay Thai.
It's the hardest. It's the hardest of all of them.
Muay Thai is pain. Pain, really pain. If you don't like it, you cannot do Muay Thai.
A sport of extreme discipline with a touch of brutality was the perfect recipe to defend himself from the bullies at school.
Found a Muay Thai gym, and 6 weeks later I had my first fight.
How old were you?
18. After my first fight, I was just chasing that again, that feeling. Because I've always been a dancer as well, so I like that roar of the crowd.
From the jump, Adesanya clearly had talent and a bright future in combat sports. But there was just one problem.
At a certain point, I realized, okay, this is not the guy to get me to that level I want to be. He wanted me to fight his style. Like,
What was that?
he was a real purist of Muay Thai. So he wanted me to have that, you know, like the sway. It's like, this is expression, this is art.
Yeah.
Let me do me. And he could never understand it. He was like, put your hands up.
A young Adesanya hears word from a friend about a better coach with a gym in the main city of Auckland. And in desperate need of a change, he wants to go. There's only one thing stopping him: his parents.
As a Nigerian parent, you're either a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, an engineer, or a disappointment. Imagine when I told my Nigerian parents, like, I want to be a fighter. You want to be a fighter? What do you mean? Like, what?
I just like, I'm good at this. I'm gonna be the best fighter in the world. And that's why I just chucked everything in my car. A lot of people can't do that because they feel comfortable. They want to jump off the ledge, but they're like, nah, holding on to the ledge. I just let go and like, it.
Adesanya makes the journey to Auckland and begins training at City Kickboxing under the guise of Eugene Berman, a former kickboxer turned coach who is often credited as the mastermind behind Adesanya's success.
Did you see that there was something different about him?
His first fight with us, straight away, you could see
the natural talent, you could see the natural flair, natural physicality that he had. And that's when I first had an inkling that he could be a really good combat sports athlete. But I was also in the game long enough at that point to know that people like that come through the door all the time. And it doesn't mean nothing. How much physical talent you've got, how much athleticism means nothing if you don't have anything mentally. And that's what, to be honest, I had to go about teaching him some of that, because sometimes that doesn't all come naturally.
With Eugene Behrman, Adesanya racked up a perfect 32-0 amateur kickboxing record and began laying the foundations for his style that relied on head movement and fast reflexes and utilised constant stance switches and masterful range control, all of which he would come to perfect later on in his career. But for now, Adesanya would face yet another problem.
I would literally be at my old job, sitting by the water cooler at lunchtime and looking at the city, and then people would be like, oh, what are you thinking of? I'm just like, oh, nothing. I was a metering and billing coordinator, so I was pretty much doing data input behind a screen. So sit there, it's 8 hours a day. When I was doing that, that was a means to an end. That was just like, okay, I need to do this so I can work in Auckland and live in Auckland City, live my dream, training to be a fighter at city kickboxing. It wasn't my passion.
Adesanya would have to face jumping off that ledge one more time.
September 4th, 2013 is the day I quit that job.
September 5th, I was on a plane in China.
I was there to be a journeyman.
So you were a B-side. You were there to lose.
Yeah, I was there, yeah.
One time I fought this big Chinese dude, and I'm in the same hotel room. I'm with this guy in the same hotel room, chilling, and I didn't find I was fighting him till it was weigh-in time.
And you guys are sleeping next to each other.
Yeah, bro, China was crazy.
They brought me over to make their guys look good, but I kept on whooping their guys, and they're like,
So they were like, you know what, let's bring this guy on our team. So they gave me a name, well, sure, Hey Long.
Hey Long.
That means the Black Dragon.
I'm the Black Dragon.
Adesanya would reach new heights in the kickboxing world, running through the top talent in China. And even if he wasn't making that much money, he was doing something that he loved. And it wouldn't take long for his exciting fighting style and unique look to begin earning in popularity amongst the Chinese fans.
I spoke the language a little bit. I was immersed in the culture. The people loved me over there.
Big black guy in the mainland of China. And all the little people like, oh, basketballer. Kobe Bryant. They come up to you, take photos. That kind of got me ready for all this. Being stared at, cameras in your faces, being a superstar in a way.
What's most remarkable, however, is the sheer amount of fights he had.
I was there for about 9 or 10 months, and within that time, I just racked up fights.
I fought 24 times.
That's on average 2.5 fights per month, which isn't totally unheard of in kickboxing, but is still an insane feat. Adesanya would return home to New Zealand, respected and now a much bigger star. He sets his eyes on King of the Ring, an 8-man tournament, and the most popular in New Zealand.
You fight 3 or 4 times.
How many days?
You fight 3 times.
No, one
that night.
3-minute rounds, 3 rounds. After the fight, guess what happens? Adrenaline dump.
When you fight, it's like you're up here and you come down. You have to regulate
You have to adjust.
Adjust.
And then you have to fight again.
Again, second one, semifinals.
How injured are you going into that third fight?
Sometimes.
I mean, nose is sore.
To win an 8-man tournament is no easy feat. It's a special few that do that. And to win it once even is cool. Twice, awesome. 3 times, never done. I did it.
Adesanya would become King of the Ring 3 times, twice at cruiserweight and once at heavyweight, putting together one of the filthiest highlight reels in kickboxing history.
Really? $10,000, Israel Adesanya.
Adesanya may have been making waves in New Zealand, but his goal remained the same, to become the best in the world. And to be the best, you have to beat the best. Enter Glory Kickboxing, home to the most elite kickboxers in the world. A place that has produced some of the scariest strikers in combat sports history. A place Adesanya had been once before and had came up short, but nevertheless looked to make a return.
Tell us about Glory, and would you like to get back in the Glory ring?
Definitely, they're gonna give us a call soon, maybe late October, we don't know.
Why they call him the Stylebender. He'll switch stances and is very unpredictable from the arsenal in this first. And what a shot! Rob Thomas is down!
After a dominant victory over Rob Thomas, an absolute war with Yusri Belgori that ended in a split decision victory, Adesanya would be given the chance to prove himself against Jason Wilness, the middleweight glory champion. And despite good forward pressure from Wilness, Adesanya landed the better strikes and in most people's eyes should have won the fight.
And still, Glory middleweight champion of the world!
Adesanya, eager to get back in the winning column, takes a fight just 6 weeks later, but suffers a brutal knockout loss, the first in his career, delivered by a certain man who we'll talk about later. Adesanya is carried off in a stretcher. Now at the lowest point in his career, and without the kickboxing title he had once dreamed of, looks to a new horizon. A profession he had only dipped his toes in before, but this time was going all in.
Adesanya, truly an international class kickboxer, but it's a different world in the shark tank of MMA.
My striking is best suited for MMA. I've always known this.
Adesanya accumulated an MMA record of 11-0 with 11 knockouts, and his raw and flashy style very quickly began turning the heads of the fighting world.
He alluded to me very early on when I met him that he wanted to be in the UFC.
So here is the Nigerian-born, New Zealand-based Israel Adesanya, 28 years old. He arrives at the UFC debut here tonight. This man is calm, cool, and collected. Trying to keep it going as he hits the big show here in Perth.
From his debut, Adesanya showed his potential, stuffing the takedowns of Rob Wilkinson and putting on a striking clinic, capping the performance with a second-round TKO and a message to the entire middleweight division.
I'm the new dog in the yard, and I just all over this cage.
But backstage, things became a bit too much.
Okay, you gotta see me crying now. There's a lot of emotion, a lot of energy. I'm a man. You gun for it? They don't know. Look at this. Huge. What's up, man? We just walked this door. Finished my promise. We finished the promise. Yeah, we did it. Love you. Oh, my man. We made a promise to my boy, VDK. Attain peace. We told him when he passed. Well, before that, but when he passed, you said, I made a promise to him, and you did too, so we gotta bring him here. So he's with us right now. I can feel him. On the night he died, we were at the gym. Last one's at the gym. We were just there for hours, just feeling him. And then, before he left, I closed the gym up, and he's like, we made a promise. Wherever we go, we take him. We're gonna take him to the UFC. We made it.
I looked at him and I said, "You're not going to beat me. I'm prepared to die." I meant that. What a glorious death. In that 5th round, Teddy, I was trying to kill him.
So, you said 10 rounds with your middle. Yeah. And what?
56,000 plus will pack the house Sunday at UFC 243.
For the undisputed middleweight title, Robert Whittaker against Israel Adesanya.
I'm gonna have fun. That's the ultimate goal. And when I have fun, I'm the best in the world.
They said I don't have no knockout power. You too skinny, bro.
At first from Adesanya, a message to his haters and his doubters, and then a tribute to his family, acknowledging the dream he had once told them he would achieve, to become the best fighter in the world.
Israel's flashy, Israel's a good-looking kid, Israel speaks really well, Israel became a star tonight.
Last time you were here, you were neither the interim nor the undisputed. Now you got it all.
He may have been a UFC champion, but for a lot of fans, Stylebender was someone they could relate to.
Is it fair to say you're a bit of a nerd?
Yeah.
Anime.
Fuck yeah, I'm about that life. These are not fake hand signs. These are for weeboos, all the anime nerds.
A bold personality, yet unapologetically himself, and it wouldn't take long for him to start getting under other fighters' skin.
People can eat up what he's saying, but the truth of the matter is he's scared today.
And in the words of Dana White,
You know who he reminds me of? The Conor McGregor. That's what Conor did. Conor came in, he stayed active, he built up a lot of notoriety, and people knew his name and people wanted to see him fight.
but there's always another side to being a champion that we often don't get to see. CKB's infamous spider training, where a fighter is forced to deal with 6 to 7 fresh opponents, one after the other for 25 minutes straight, a test of physical resilience and mental fortitude, a place where champions are made.
They can't break me mentally, and one man can't break me mentally.
And with guys like Dan Hooker for hard sparring,
Absolute psychopath.
and UFC champions like Alexander Volkanovski for technical sparring, Adesanya, characteristic of his nickname, has learnt to adapt to anything in the cage. Add to this his multitude of experience, and you are left with a guy who doesn't even flinch at the scariest of challenges.
Israel Adesanya wants to fight Yoel Romero. Believe me, we make the phone calls. Nobody wants to fight Yoel Romero.
It's not even about the belt. It's just I just want to beat up the toughest guys right now who are considered the best of the best.
It's a mindset that enabled him to fight 12 straight title fights within 5 years. A prime example of this came in his second title defense against Paulo Costa, one of his most memorable. The year is 2020, and with the world on lockdown, sports events worldwide are cancelled. UFC President Dana White considers a plan. He puts together Fight Island, a remote island only for UFC staff, fighters and their teams, and with all other sports off, naturally sports fans look towards the UFC, and all eyes are on one of the biggest fights of the year.
Costa versus Adesanya will be a ridiculous fight. I guarantee it. I absolutely positively guarantee it. Costa will come forward, he will throw big punches, he will throw combinations, he will not stop punching, and Israel Adesanya is going to have to fight him.
Both young, both confident, both undefeated, and with a personal beef dating back 2 years.
Paulo Costa just had a pretty spectacular
It wasn't spectacular. I want him next.
He's how coward. Adesanya is afraid. You know, he's afraid.
And eventually boiling over after UFC 243.
Next, I got this overly inflated balloon animal. This heavy Ricky Martin wannabe.
I will make him cry.
The grudge match was set for Fight Island in September.
Once they see the skinny clown supposedly
Skinny claw Adesanya
beat this muscly buffoon, and they're like, what? But the skinny guy beat the muscular guy.
What kind of energy are you picking up for Paulo right now?
Weak from cutting weight.
185, the official weight for Paulo Costa. 184 pounds, the official weight for the champion, Israel Adesanya.
Sure. You're a black belt?
Yeah, I am. Look, and I have
I'm ahead of the game, bro. You're gonna need that when you get downgraded.
I have a gift for you.
Don't worry, I'm gonna knock your ass out. Well, I'm knocking your ass out. What you gonna do?
Strong leg kick from Izzy to start. Costa waves him on. Super efficient here early on. Precise with it. He's hitting that same exact spot. Right on the knee. The gamesmanship continues from Paulo Costa. 5 minutes down. Round one for the
Look
champion.
at the first round, the way he looked at me. And then look at the second round when he's like, you see his face, the demeanor changed. I love those moments. You take their soul away. You just know, like, this guy knows he doesn't want to be locked in the air with me.
And it looked like that head kick opened up a cut. The eyebrow of Costa.
Because now he's got Costa's attention so much.
That is it! Still undisputed! Quick night at the office for the champion, Israel Adesanya. Too easy.
I know you're mad. Cut to the camera. I know you're mad.
He's too good. Wow.
My narrative for this fight, because everyone says he's a bully, or he walks people down, this and that, rah. And it's not news to anyone that I've been bullied my whole life. So when this guy and his little pohachinas were doing what they were doing, I was like, all right, watch this. I dedicate this fight to anyone, whether it be at school or at home or even at work if your boss is grinding you. I dedicate this fight to you guys because you have to fight back. You can't just take that all the time. You have to bite back.
Adesanya, a reason to fight. But it wasn't just vengeance Adesanya would fight for.
One of our boys, one of the guys that was on his way up to the UFC got murdered. Let's not mince words. He got murdered by some thugs who are still walking around free.
The thought of his daughter still wondering when her dad's coming home, that's the one that really kicks the most.
I just want to say, Falvake, I love you, man. All love, you know what we do. This fight I dedicate to you, Fall.
Around this time, Adesanya would attempt to become a double champ at light heavyweight against Jan Blachowicz, but would suffer his first defeat in the UFC.
Great. I'm going back down to 185, and I'm gonna roll that with my iron black fist.
Adesanya continued to clear out the middleweight division, beating some of the top contenders even twice, and defending his title an impressive 5
Adesanya
times.
can be the new Anderson Silva of the division?
I think he's going to be the new Adesanya of the division.
But being the best comes with its own problems.
I'm impressed by Izzy, and I'm a fan of Izzy, first off. But I feel like if you don't bring the fight to him, he's not going to bring it to you.
Running. That is not big champion. Pay-per-view. For what? For fight. No running.
Nothing but criticizing. And I can't remember a great that didn't face this at some point. There was a time when Khabib couldn't get to the main event because he was boring. He would take people down. Georges St. Pierre, who sold more pay-per-views than anybody, took everybody down. And he kept them there for 25 minutes. It's one of these things, right?
Believe it or not, even Anderson Silva at one point was accused of boring performances. He came under heavy fire after his title fight against Damian Maia.
Is it true that you did leave in the 4th round and give the belt to Ed Suarez?
I gave.
What did you say?
I left in the 4th round and I gave the belt to Ed and I said, "You put it on him. I'm not doing it."
I feel as though Anderson, when he fights at 185, continues to let you down.
Adesanya's image as a public figure and superstar of the UFC was beginning to overshadow his actual performances in the cage. To the fans, a boring fight is a boring fight. At the very least, Adesanya was self-aware of many fans' hopes to see change in the division.
There'd be someone that's so dominant for so long, and then sometimes you just kind of want to see them lose just to shake things up a bit. And I know that's the stupidest thing, and I've felt that before in the past. It's just I don't know what it is about our mentality or our human culture that we just like, I just want to see what it's like if you lose. You know what I mean? But I think people just do that with me now just because it's me, and I'm outspoken, I speak my mind, so they're just like, nah, I want to see this guy lose. And they'll just keep doubting me. The next guy's the next guy to beat me. They'll find a reason that this guy can beat him because, and they probably can, but I never let them. That's the difference.
But there may be one man Remember how I said that Glory was home to the world's most elite kickboxers? Well, Alex Pereira was the elite of the elite. Glory Kickboxing's first and only ever double champion. And a man with one of the most destructive left hooks that we've ever seen in combat sports.
He hits people and it doesn't even make sense.
Really?
It's like he hits them. It's like he's a heavyweight and they're a lightweight. Truly one of the most terrifying human beings.
He had a history with Adesanya that dated back to 2016. A fight that went the distance, but is often regarded as a robbery. However, the story does not really begin until their second fight in Brazil, a year later.
Hey guys, my name is Israel Adesanya. Against Alex Pereira. He's a guy I already fought before. I'm in his backyard and I want to take it to him, so I want to, come into his favela and slay him. You know what I mean?
Adesanya was out to prove a point.
When I heard him in that second round, I just went berserk.
This time, he didn't want to risk going to the judges' scorecards.
I started throwing bombs and just like, I was only throwing right hands. I just like only right hands at him. He was hurt. He was out on his feet already.
And then one punch would change his career.
I was
forever.
southpaw, was a left hook from him. So it's a good story for him, like he knocked me out at the third round after he got rocked in the second round. But hey, if we fight again, because even after my UFC debut, he put like a contract up, like he's coming to the UFC as well. I'm like, all right, make your way up. I'll f him up, 100%.
But it wasn't until a particular interview released, reigniting a rivalry and linking the two of them.
He watches all my fights, and every time I fight, like clockwork, he'll try and put something out like, I beat this guy. But I've never ever watched any of his fights, ever. So at the end of the day, no one knows who the f he is. And he's gonna be that guy when I'm world champion, when I'm a legend. He's gonna be at some pub, talking some shit about, I beat that guy one time. I beat that guy one time. I beat that guy one time.
There's this ultimate bad guy who was just in some bar in Brazil, and then Izzy had to open his mouth.
Pereira transitioned to MMA, chasing Adesanya to the UFC. And after running through his first two opponents, the UFC intentionally give him a title eliminator bout on Adesanya's undercard. Portan let his presence be known, giving the champion something to think about whilst he's backstage.
Cannot stand in front of that man.
Can't play with that dude,
man. That power is different. It's extraordinary. But this guy does that to the best kickboxers on planet Earth. Think about him as he's got that nuclear option. You cannot make a mistake.
The winner by
You're in a position now where you have beaten almost everyone in the division.
Look, we know who's next. That Portan, Porha. Trust me.
Saturday night UFC 281. November 12th here at Madison Square Garden.
Behind us is a whole nation, is a whole spirit, is a whole mana. And you can't with it.
Você vai estar sozinho lá dentro do octógono.
You're gonna be alone inside that octagon without a team.
Oh yes, you and me, don't worry, but they're gonna be with me. They're gonna be with me in spirit. Trust me. Hey, he's got bragging rights. Talk all you want. Talk all
you want. Because trust me, they can't save you either when you're locked in there with me.
Fifth and final round, and Adesanya is up.
One round for you to be a world champion. 5 minutes. Enough. Enough. You need to get to him to knock him out.
Champion of the world. Já estava escrito. Eu sabia que eu ia ser campeão.
Was Adesanya just destined to lose to Pereira? Destined for second place? Losing consecutive fights to the same man can do horrible things to the psyche, even for the most elite fighters.
I don't know, man. I guess if you win both fights, there is no rivalry, so
But in a position where most would crumble, Adesanya remained optimistic.
Do you believe, a rematch, is that what you're going to hunt?
Of course. Come on, man. It's another great story for him, but it's not over. This is still war.
To be down 3-0 to a man who has took everything from you, but still hold a glimmer of hope.
Every time, it's the same story.
It's okay. You go ahead and rest up and come back. Just like that, the rematch was set for UFC 287 in Miami. One last chance for Adesanya to beat his boogeyman, who had haunted him for 7 years.
I'm done with this talk. You guys want to hear me talk or you want to hear me fight?
And as you would expect, he was on edge.
The belt, I'm coming for his head.
From the outside looking in, darkness. On the inside, a man in desperate need to make a point to himself, determined to remove the stain on his legacy.
Full discipline, full commitment, full dedication. Even though my mind sometimes wants to play tricks on me, I know the work I've done. I know what I have to do. I'm gonna beat this guy.
Here we go, boys.
All right, gentlemen, you ready? You ready? Round one, let's go.
Here right away goes right back to an outside leg kick. All these strikes, man. Such high-level kickboxing technique.
Izzy has an angry look in his face.
He does.
This is the scary Pereira when it closes the distance.
There's that
that one hurt him. That one hurt him. You saw him buckle with that low kick. Pereira so dangerous.
Can feel this level of happiness just one time in your life. But guess what? You will never feel this level of happiness if you don't go for something in your own life. When they knock you down, when they try on you, when they talk about you, and they try to put their foot on your neck. If you stay down, you will never ever get that resolve. They say revenge is sweet. And if you know me, I got a sweet tooth.
The grand scheme of things, you know this is not everything to me, but right now, tonight, it's everything. Well, if you beat him once, it's still 3 and 3 minus 1 is 2, and that's 2-time UFC middleweight champion. I don't keep score. I settled him, and tonight, the score is settled.
Adesanya's victory lap would remain brief as he locked his eyes on his next opponent, Dricus Du Plessis. Eager to start his second title reign and resume his dominance over the middleweight division. But things take an unlikely turn.
Dricus Du Plessis. You're a bitch. That's why I'm not taking this fight. Your foot sore. My knee was jacked too from my last fight. Guess what I did? I showed up because that's what a f***ing champion does. I'm fighting in Sydney. I don't give a f*** who. Plus Du Plessis. Plus f*** off. You're out. Strickland, you're in.
Man, no, if I kill someone in the ring, I'd make me very happy.
Now, if it wasn't UFC, I'd probably be cooking meth in a trailer in prison, so. Women are the glue to society. If right now all women were to vanish off this world, I would eat you motherfuckers. I would go straight cannibalism.
The psychopath of the middleweight division.
Sean Strickland! Wow!
Most well known for his crazy trash talk that often finds its way into the cage.
Fight you for the center, Jack. Oh yeah, that boy. 30 seconds, Jack. Let's go. I'll give you a chance to win. Just go hard. Come on, Jack!
The character, the champion, had a history.
If you win this fight, when we fight, I knock you out. I'm gonna do a TikTok dance over your grave.
Oh, look at this grown-ass man on TikTok. Maybe that's the problem, bro.
And
you know this guy's a champion.
Do something about it. You do.
Listen, bro, you're gonna break a nail. Calm down.
I'll break your face.
No man that beats off the cartoons is gonna beat me.
The fight was set for UFC 293 in Sydney, and fans only had one thing on their minds: the press conference.
Israel, you're skinny, bro. You better lift some weights, man. You're skinny as hell. I'm not worried about you.
I got this overly inflated balloon animal. This heavy ass Ricky Martin wannabe.
I don't like you, man.
Sean Strickland was a whole nother level. A man so unfiltered on the mic that he could scare even Dana White.
I walk into that cage, you guys fuel me, man. I want to go in there and I want to win that belt for you guys. And I want to bring some pride back to the middleweight division. I'm not my dog off, swearing allegiance to China. Listen, you guys.
Sunday, I'm gonna knock this mother out. That's all I give a fuck about.
Yeah, you'll do it for China. You'll do it for China, you
do it for China. I'll do it for Philip Lamb. I told you knock you the fuck out, and I will knock you the fuck out. I don't really dislike him. He's just annoying, that's all. But again, this is it. This is his moment. Sunday afternoon, it's my moment.
I don't want the cringe to rub off on me.
But regardless of Strickland's pre-fight antics, Adesanya was coming in as a massive -650 favourite. What was supposed to be a free win for Adesanya turned into a nightmare.
A huge right-hander for Sean Strickland! Adesanya in trouble! Gonna apply in a world of pressure! A major moment only for the underdog!
From one round to the next, and the next.
He's just constantly on the pressure. He's on the pressure, but he's being very measured in the way that he's attacking Adesanya. But just being on your heels the entire time is not fun.
No.
For the first time in his career, a usually confident Adesanya had a look of hopelessness on his face.
Adesanya's nose is bleeding.
And on the other side of the cage, a look of hunger in his opponent's eyes.
Is sparring 15, 20 rounds.
To the final round we go. And once again, Adesanya on the retreat.
And now Strickland's talking to him.
Final 10 seconds. Likelihood, Sean Strickland has produced one of the biggest upsets in UFC Championship history.
Pause. I had a different plan for this. But, again, life throws curveballs. Win or lose, I wasn't going to say much anyway. I lost tonight to the better man on the night. I just want to go with people, be with people who care about me. I want to go chill, have some breakfast, build my family, and yeah, till next time.
Would you have called that beginning of the year? Strickland's be middleweight champ. Like, get the fuck in here. Are you out of your mind?
He's lost 2 of his last 3 fights. He lost the belt, got it back, has now lost it again.
Adesanya needs
There's a lot of footage on Israel
Those guys that are working their way up are getting better.
Take a break step back and then work his way back to a title.
I've been through some shit.
in the last few weeks. And life happens, you know. I don't make any excuses. Strickland got me on the night because he was the better fighter on the night, and he did his work well. He had a good team behind him. I never make excuses. I give him props. But now I'm going to take time to look after myself. I'm not going to fight for a long time. 4 fights in the last 14 months. It takes a toll on your body. I'm just going to take my time, heal, and then when I come back, run for the hills.
It seemed that Adesanya was at a crossroads in his career. He would use this as an opportunity to reinvent himself and attempt to make history yet again.
He handles these types of situations better than most. He's looking at things like storylines. I mean, imagine him selling the redemption story. I mean, this is just going to be crazy.
Because after all, the Last Stylebender is an entertainer at heart. From his flashy walkouts, the Hill goes far as to rehearse and visualize the night before, to playfully simulating a game of rock, paper, scissors moments before his fight with Robert Whittaker, even going as far to plan out an act of revenge on Alex Pereira's son.
First time he knocked me out in Brazil, his son came into the ring and just laid on the ground, just like,
to mock you?
Go alone, he's only a kid. I'm like, and the what? I was just like, where is he? I'm gonna find him. I was like, Hey. Just to remind him.
A controversial figure, but like him or not, people will tune in to watch him fight.
Your cardio held up, but that was not just a 5-round fight. That was a 5-round war.
4 shots to get denied. You know, if the decision goes that way, I'm proud of it.
It was a split decision, but you guys...
Champion of the world, Dricus Du Plessis.
Israel Adesanya, get your back in the UFC so we can settle
what's
the
next?
score.
I mean, we might be right back where we were last July, where he got in the octagon with Adesanya. The two were barking back and forth one another. The UFC tried to make that fight first, and then in came Sean Strickland because Dricus was not healthy enough.
A beef that once again all started with an interview.
You gotta choose your words wisely when you speak on people that have come before you, people that paved the way for you. You gotta pick your words wisely. You wanna try and be a big boy. You want to bamba. I pray to God he keeps winning. I will gladly drag his carcass across South Africa. But who the is this gonna tell me who the I am, who the Kamaru is, who the Ngannou is?
African brother right here. Let's go. What's up? Let's go. Yeah, my African brother. What's up?
I'm African, but I ain't no brother of yours, son.
Adesanya's return was set for UFC 305 in Perth.
Dricus said it again this morning to me, actually questioning whether you've still got the hunger.
You know, he's seen it all, done it all. He's lost that hunger for the game.
He can think whatever he likes. When he came in the UFC, I never looked at this guy and be like, who the is this fake African? I never said that. I was like, okay, there's a new African in town. He's in the middleweight division. I think I remember him. Maybe I'll see him down the way. Next minute, the motherfucker tried to call me, Francis, and Kamaru fake African champions. So for me, I was like, okay, he started this, but I'll make sure I end this.
Are you taking the servants with you when you're going back?
What the are you even on about? My father and myself had to wake up at 4 a.m. and clean the banks while my mom studies to be a nurse. You don't know my story. Don't speak of my story if you don't know my story.
I don't care.
I will show you.
Take as the first residing African.
He touched the subject there because I do this for my family. I do this for the people I love, and I'll fight for you forever. I swear to God. Watch this. I'm a human being. I am a man. I can cry and whoop your ass at the same time. I feel the love from the crowd. Yeah, I'm gonna kill your dreams. I wanna kill your dreams.
When life puts a lot of pressure on you, whatever you believe, the universe, God, it's forcing you to make a change. And if you don't, you're gonna just stay stagnant and die. You don't evolve. A lot of pressure, outside pressure. And then you're forced to make a change. And then when it happens, it's almost like euphoria, like bliss.
for the entire MMA fan. Oh, good left hand now from the champ. Back and forth we go.
See Izzy doing a lot of work early to the body. You can see the power of DDP.
He's hitting it so hard.
Yeah.
A lot of energy expended there.
He seems to be getting right back up.
Oh!
Nice right hand. Make the deal. Let's fight now.
Nice left hook.
Right hand connection by Adesanya.
So he
drags Adesanya down.
Straight to throwing one hook in. Let's see if.
Oh, he's got the choke.
He's got the choke. Gets it done.
By submission and still. Du Plessis perhaps offering up some sort of acknowledgement.
Now to share this octagon with a legend. I have the utmost respect for him, warrior to warrior. Izzy, if you decide to retire tonight, thank you.
His toughness, I already knew he was going to be tough and hard to put away, and I was cracking him, but I'm disappointed in myself, but at the same time I'm proud, because this is the best I've ever felt, this is the best I've ever looked, and I just had the better man on the night, and I'll give him respect for that. This is where I started my career in the UFC, this is where I made my dream. Right here in Perth, and I know all you want to see me lose, you want to see me down, but watch this. I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving!
The adrenaline high of that. When that's all, when you're done with this game, you said, when you lose the love of the game or whatever it is, do you ponder what that moment would be like for you?
A little bit, but I'm ready for it in the sense that I'm not attached to this. I know I'm more than fighting. Fighting, there's more to life than fighting. I know who I am, and I'm a champ without the belt. It's just a fancy tiara. I've said that from the jump. But I'm not attached to it to the sense that it's my identity, that this is all I am. So when it's all said and done, and I'm not the UFC middleweight champ anymore, I'm retired, I'm not gonna be like, who am I? I know who I am. I like to just have moments of silence by myself. I like to be with my own thoughts. A lot of people don't like to be with their own thoughts because they don't like what's happening up here. But you have to face yourself so you can learn how to beat yourself in a way. If I can conquer myself, I can conquer anyone. So this is a part of not just my training, but just life in general, learning how to just be alone with my own thoughts and enjoy my own company. Because how can you love someone if you don't love yourself? I got the name because I felt in this realm, I want to master all the elements of martial arts and realize my destiny as the Avatar. And I felt like I was the one. But I have, and now the middleweight division needs me again.
Hey guys, I just want to say thanks for watching this video. And if you made it this far, I'm sure you're a big fight fan, so make sure to subscribe, comment, like, all that good stuff.